Jackson Radio Show.
I was thinking about this the other day. Who's going to replace George Soros when he dies? I'm talking about on the left. By the way, the right, we don't really have a George Soros. We have billionaires out there who will help individuals. Like, for example, if you're wondering how Ben Shapiro's been rising through the ranks, he's got the backing of a Texas billionaire, an anti-Trump Texas billionaire. And now it turns out Shapiro's looking to buy the Blaze from Glenn Beck. Yeah. So Glenn Beck, anti-Trump, Ben Shapiro, anti-Trump, and this billionaire anti-Trumper are trying to become one of the largest media outlets in the country. Now, again, if Trump does something wrong, you should go after him. But to be anti-Trump because he doesn't fit the stereotype of a president, particularly given his track record thus far, I think is ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous that somebody can rise through the ranks, the way Shapiro has, with the help of a billionaire and still be so wrong. I mean, that's just my opinion about it. I don't have anything against him. I think he's a sharp kid otherwise. He's a conservative of the Buckley ilk. Intellectual type, can certainly argue his point to such a degree that people are like, wow, But, when you get it wrong, when you're anti-Trump, he wins, and then he has a year like he has. I'm sorry, I can't look at you and go, wow, look at you. You've got look at the intellect. No, you missed it. But anyway, Donald Trump's got his detractors, and one of them is not. I mean, it's hard to believe that we got somebody like Shapiro out there who's a detractor, but we've got a guy named Jeff Bezos out there who owns the Washington Post. On the left, he's an attacker of Trump. And he stated it. He bought the magazine, now it's online, who was failing. And he says, I don't even care. I want anti-Trump research done, and I want it written about him every single day. And he's tried to use the Washington Post, maybe in some ways the way Shapiro's trying to use the Daily Wire and many other things. But we've now got an anti-Trumper on the right in conjunction, trying to grow his business. And then we've got this anti-Trumper on the left in Washington Post with Jeff Bezos. And Bezos has been, just crazy in going after Trump, literally hiring opposition researchers to do things and creating this fake news. Now, Trump has pretty much marginalized all of the media. And in fact, he's done it in such a way that, believe it or not, the media is starting to come around. Right now, I think that the statistics, they say it's like 90% negative against Trump, 10% positive, or 10% probably neutral. I don't know that they report very much positive. But whatever they're doing, I can tell you, you're starting to see a shift. It's probably now 80-20. Now, it'll go back negative. Why? Because Trump released his budget, and the left are having a conniption over it because he's cutting out the gravy train. No longer is the taxpayer, you, going to finance the nonsense of the left, the media machine and things that they're looking for. It's not going to happen, okay? So you're going to see some negative at that. But as you continue to get good news, for example, we'll talk a little bit later in the broadcast about what's happened in January because of the tax plan. As you start to get this good news, and as the tsunami effect of some of Trump's policies kick in, when I say tsunami effect, I don't mean bad news tsunami. I mean good news tsunami. Brings a bunch of rich soil to the land, and suddenly everything is flourishing because of the tsunami that is the Trump plan. But here's what I want to get at. Jeff Bezos, who is willing to invest in a media outlet and throw money at the Washington Post that's losing money and saying, I don't care how much it loses, I'm funding it. He's going to lay off hundreds of people. Now, see, people don't know. Amazon sells clothes. They sell all kinds of stuff. You've heard of Alexa. I will not put Alexa in my house because I don't want anything with Bezos listening in on me. If I say, hey, which way to the chicken shack, they'll probably send cops over and talk about me trying to, give chickens cocaine. Who knows? I don't trust them. But He's apparently going to double down on technology. He's going to lay off hundreds of employees in his consumer retail side of the business, but he's going to grow his technology side. He wants to become a technological giant. I mean, he already is, and he's got contracts with the government, believe it or not. Get this, Amazon employs 566,000 people. They've got 12,500 job openings. This may soon be the one. It's certainly in the top 5 largest privately held companies in the world with that number of employees. When I worked at Hitachi, we were one of the largest companies in the world. We had 385,000 employees, and I thought, that's huge. Amazon's 566,000, hiring 12,500. Now, why am I bringing this up to you? I'm bringing this up to you because I want you to think about a guy who was willing to invest money in a failing news outlet that he has targeted at Donald Trump. But he says, on my retail side, I don't give a crap about y'all. We're shifting gears, and that doesn't matter. That to me is just amazing. Think about, he has got such a vendetta against a man who, by the way, is making him one of the richest guys in the world. And he's got a vendetta. And that vendetta now means he's going to fire hundreds of people. For all intents and purposes, Jeff Bezos could say, look, nobody that works for me, you're ever going to get fired. I'm going to set aside money in escrow, and you're just going to get $50,000 or $100,000 a year. So let's just do the math. If he gave, it's hundreds of people. So let's, for the sake of discussion, say it's 500. If he gave 500 people $100,000 a year, it's $50 million. $50 million a year. So if he set aside one of his $1 billion in escrow and just let it do what it does, let it grow normally, he could employ these people for years. I mean, off the books. 500 people, he could just say, here you go. That's essentially what he's doing with the Washington Post. I think he said, I don't remember his exact comment, but it was something along the lines of, I'd lose $1 billion just to go after Trump. But he's anti-Trump. And I mean, I just can't get over this. A businessman who wants to be more powerful, believes himself to be more powerful than the freely, duly elected president of the United States, and is using his resources to do so. But when it comes to the common man, the person who bet on him, and he's the one that decided, hey, I'm going to do these retail shops and all that. Now, look, as a capitalist, I say you can hire and fire whoever you want. But when you claim that you're one of these bleeding heart leftists that cares about people, how do you keep one business alive? And then you decide, because that one suits your purpose, your narrative, to go after somebody, but your other business, you say, I don't care about those people. It's hundreds. And he's got 12,500 openings. At least move them over. Do something for these folks. But see, that's leftism. It's such a duplicitous ideology.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.